Hello and welcome back to my channel Dinar and Dong Updates. Iraqi Dinar, oil prices, and the global financial shifts. A critical overview. In recent weeks, global financial markets have witnessed some significant changes, especially in the oil sector. As oil prices dip below the $70 mark, many have begun to closely examine the broader implications of these shifts. For countries like Iraq, which are heavily dependent on oil revenue, such fluctuations have a domino effect on their national economies. But could these drops in oil prices lead to positive changes in Iraq's economic policies and its currency, the Iraqi dinar? This article will explore how these developments might not only affect Iraq's fiscal situation, but also potentially signal a currency revaluation on the horizon. In addition, we'll look at broader global trends and how individuals can adapt and position themselves for financial growth amid these shifting dynamics. Oil prices, a double-edged sword for Iraq. Oil prices have always been a major factor in shaping Iraq's economy. The country, rich in oil reserves, has long depended on this single resource for the bulk of its revenue. When global oil prices fall, Iraq's national income decreases proportionally. This means that its economy faces significant challenges, especially when oil prices dip below key thresholds. Recently, oil prices have been volatile, dropping to levels below $70 per barrel. As of the latest figures, prices have hovered around $63 per barrel. While this might be beneficial for oil-importing countries that benefit from cheaper energy costs, for oil-exporting nations like Iraq, this drop creates immediate fiscal pressure. A sudden decline like this directly impacts the national budget and creates budgetary gaps that need to be addressed promptly. For a country like Iraq, which relies on oil to fund over 90% of its budget, such a decline could be catastrophic if it continues for an extended period. However, financial analysts are beginning to see this downturn in oil prices from a different perspective. Many experts believe that this downturn could present an opportunity rather than a threat. Historically, when oil prices fall sharply, countries like Iraq are forced to make quicker decisions and accelerate the implementation of much-needed economic reforms. This urgency could push the government to consider changes to the Iraqi dinar's exchange rate, something that many investors and economists have been anticipating for years. The drop in oil prices could force Iraq's government to make faster decisions regarding its fiscal policies and the currency's value. Such changes could be in response to the declining oil revenue, or perhaps as part of an effort to stabilize the country's economy through faster diversification away from oil dependence. The role of the Iraqi dinar. Could we see a shift in its value? For years, the Iraqi dinar has been a subject of intense speculation and debate among investors. The currency's value has remained relatively low, especially in comparison to major global currencies like the US dollar. This has led many investors to speculate that Iraq might eventually revalue the dinar, an event that could lead to significant profits for those who are holding on to the currency. The possibility of a revaluation has always been tied to Iraq's ability to stabilize its economy and implement necessary reforms. One of the key issues that have delayed such a shift is Iraq's over-reliance on oil revenues. The drop in oil prices could finally force the country to make significant changes to its economic structure. In other words, this could be the catalyst for the long-awaited revaluation of the dinar. But it's not just the falling oil prices that might trigger this. The Iraqi government, particularly the country's central bank, has long been working on measures to stabilize and strengthen the national currency. There have been talks about adjusting the exchange rate, moving away from the dollar, and implementing stricter financial controls. However, any such decisions have always been delayed due to the delicate political and economic balance in the country. As oil prices continue to fluctuate, the Iraqi government could be under increasing pressure to reconsider its budget, currency policies, and fiscal framework. This pressure could lead to a faster-paced implementation of the reforms that are necessary for a currency revaluation. The role of border security and financial transparency. Interestingly, another development that could be crucial to the Iraqi dinar's future involves border security and the country's financial infrastructure. While this may seem unrelated to the currency at first glance, it's actually a critical component of the country's economic modernization efforts. A major step in Iraq's path to financial reform is its effort to secure and regulate the movement of money in and out of the country. Recently, it was reported that Iraq has successfully automated 18 of its border checkpoints. This marks a significant milestone in the country's progress toward stabilizing its financial system. By tightening control over border security and reducing opportunities for corruption, Iraq can improve financial oversight, making it less susceptible to illicit activities that have plagued the country in the past. Why does this matter? The answer lies in the broader picture of Iraq's economic and financial reforms. For many years, experts have argued that before any significant changes could occur, whether they involve currency revaluations or full economic modernization, Iraq needed to have better control over its borders and financial systems. With these new measures in place, the country is better positioned to support a revaluation of the dinar and other reforms that will help stabilize the national economy in the long run. The broader financial climate. A global perspective. Now let's take a step back and consider the broader economic situation worldwide. In the United States, for instance, the economic outlook for many citizens is not rosy. A recent study found that 61% of adults are living paycheck to paycheck, and nearly 75% of the population feels financially insecure. What's more concerning is that over a quarter of Americans say they don't believe they will ever achieve financial stability. This is a staggering number, and it reflects broader global financial challenges. In light of this financial insecurity, many people are looking for ways to diversify their income streams. Some are turning to alternative investments, including foreign currency trading, to hedge against economic instability. Iraq, with its emerging economy and potential for currency revaluation, offers a unique opportunity for those who are looking to take calculated risks. This environment also highlights the growing interest in earning money through passive income streams. Automated services, where individuals can earn money simply by being part of a system, are becoming increasingly popular. While some of these opportunities can be legitimate, it's important to do thorough research before committing to such platforms. Financial security in today's world is more important than ever, and the ability to adapt and explore new ways of earning is becoming essential. Iraq's economic future. Are major reforms coming? Going back to Iraq, it's clear that the country is taking significant steps to overhaul its economy. From modernizing border security to adapting to fluctuating oil prices, Iraq is positioning itself for substantial changes. These developments are indicative of a broader effort to modernize the financial system and make the country more attractive to international investors. One of the most pressing questions is whether these changes will lead to a revaluation of the Iraqi dinar. The falling oil prices may force the Iraqi government to act more swiftly, accelerating the process of economic reform. As political figures like Jamal Khaka have pointed out, if the oil prices continue to fall, Iraq's 2025 budget could need to be re-evaluated. This could open the door for quicker reforms, including a shift in the value of the dinar. In addition, the improvements in border management are a sign that Iraq is not just talking about financial reform. It is actively building the necessary infrastructure to support it. These advancements in security and financial transparency show that Iraq is serious about modernizing its economy, which could have long-term positive effects on the dinar's value. What this means for dinar investors. For those of us who have been closely following the Iraqi dinar and its potential for revaluation, these developments are worth paying attention to. While we can't predict the exact timeline for a currency shift, It's clear that Iraq is making strides toward economic stability. The combination of falling oil prices, border security improvements, and a more transparent financial system suggests that the country is preparing for substantial changes in the near future. If these reforms continue at their current pace, we might see the Iraqi dinar begin to appreciate in value sooner than expected. For dinar investors, this could be an exciting time, as they could potentially see significant returns on their investments. However, as with any investment, it's important to stay informed, remain vigilant, and adjust your strategy as new information emerges. Conclusion: stay ahead of the curve. The world is changing quickly and financial markets are becoming more volatile. For investors, staying ahead of the curve is essential. This is especially true when it comes to foreign currencies, as emerging markets like Iraq present unique opportunities. The recent developments in Iraq,